Hey guys, so back again with another video on how to make a lo-fi beat in FL Studio for beginners using stock sounds in FL Studio. Alright, now before we get in, I want to start by first identifying what type of vibe that I want to go for. So I want to go for something relaxing, something pretty chill. Alright, I'm going to use only the stock sounds here. So let's collect our sounds first before trying to make any piece of music. So I'm going to go here to the browser, the plugin picker. I'm gonna go right here, packs. Gonna go to instruments. We go to keyboard. I'm gonna drag in a grand piano. Okay, and I'm gonna right click here for the Rhodes because this is another way you can select an instrument. Right click, open a new channel. Alright, so now let me turn up the volume because it's kind of quiet. I'm gonna go to this knob right here and turn it up. And over here, and now the knob next to it is for the pan, or you can just pan left or right. Reset. I'm gonna right click, hit reset. Okay, so another way of turning the volume is by clicking on my actual plugin, going to the wrench tool, and turning up the volume from there. Here as well. Okay. Now, let me go to the guitar. I'm going to pick up this jazz guitar, which is really sick. Open a new. Alright, awesome. Now, let me find the bass. I'm going to go to the bass right here. And I'm going to go to the classic 80. Right click, open a new channel. Now there are other bass sounds here you can explore with, but these are just the sounds that I like. Alright, also for the keyboards and guitars. Alright, now let's move on to the percussions. Alright, what drum sounds do we want to use? So we're going to go to the drums. Let's go, where is it? Oh, sorry, Legacy. Drums. Let's go for the real drum kits. Right. I like this sound. Sounds pretty lo-fi-ish. Alright, let's find this in snare. I like this one. Snare number 4 is nice. And so let's snare number 8. Now let's try and find a kick. I'm gonna go for kick 2. I mean, the other two sound a bit too dramatic for something that's lo-fi. Alright. So let's check out the sounds that we've collected. Turn the volume here as well. Alright, nice. Drum. Alright. Let me add some vinyl crackle as well. Alright, so all of these are the elements that you need to add, or should I say incorporate in your beats if you're trying to make a lo-fi sound and a lo-fi feel. Because I think that's the first question you have to sort of ask yourself as a music producer, is like, what genre are you going for, what feel you're going for, and what sounds produce that feel, you know? I'm gonna go to slicer right here, hold shift, right click. Sorry, no, to delete the shorter part, I'm gonna have to go do this. I'll go right here. Just delete that. Yeah. Alright, so we're kind of creating an atmosphere right now at the moment. I'm gonna route this to mixer track 414. 15, what it doesn't matter. All right. Now let me route the instruments to a mixer track. All right, so I'm gonna go right here. 3. All right. Now let me create a pattern right here for the drums and one for the instruments. All right. Oh yeah, this is from because all right, I tried to record a tutorial but it didn't go well, so I had to restart the whole thing. But yeah, anyways, that's not the point. Point is, all right, so I have a chorus right here, effect for the electric piano. Right now, this effect is a free plugin. FL Studio is an effect plugin. Got a chorus right here. That's really nice. Now I want to add this to what's it called? I want to add this to the guitar as well, which I have right here. All right, I'm gonna label this guitar. Now what I could do is I'm gonna go here, save preset as. I'm gonna left click and hold, and then drag it so I can add the plugin. Right. So now I have the plugin effect on the guitar. Alright. Now I want to create a send, right? A reverb send. I'm gonna right click, reverb. Over here. Alright, I probably should have mentioned this in the beginning, but this video is not going to be a step-by-step tutorial. Like, I'm sort of going all over the place, but I just want to show a different sort of approach or method to when you want to create a beat. Alright, like, because usually you would start, the last thing you would do is you would add the atmosphere, but in this video we did it the first thing. Alright, so yeah, I'm gonna increase this for the reverb to cut out the low end. Gonna increase the size. Alright, and I'm gonna increase the stereo width. Alright. Now the video is getting kind of boring, so I'm gonna add some chord progressions. Right, let's try to spice things up a little bit or make things a little bit more interesting. Again, now before going, we have to ask ourselves, what do we want to do? Alright, so we want to create a jazz sort of vibe, a lo-fi, something really chill. So we're gonna have to follow a 2-5-1 chord progression, which is the most common chord progression you'll hear in jazz, and it kind of goes something like this. Right, you'll hear it all the time. Always does a trick. Alright, so gonna right click here, piano. Now since we're in C major scale, what we're gonna do is we're gonna start the first chord progression will be on the second note of the scale. In this case it's D. Then we're going to go to the 5th note, which is G. And then we're going to go to the 1st note. We're going to end it off at the 1st note, which is C. Now, another thing that I've noticed is that lo-fi beats, alright, they tend, in a 4-bar loop, tend to only play 3 chords. Alright, you don't need to play 4 or 5 chords. Just play 3 chords and let the 3rd and the final chord just drag off for 2 bars. I don't know, it's a guaranteed way of making things sound chill. Alright, so either way. Now, if you don't know how to create a chord progression, it's actually pretty easy. What we're going to do is we're going to skip every other note in the scale. Alright, so since we're on C major scale, just ignore all the black notes, pretend they don't exist. Alright, we're going to go to the next white note, and we're going to skip that and put a note on the other one, the one next to it. Next white note, skip it, add a note. Next one, skip, add a note. Before going further, let me hit control down. Right, more. Okay. Alright, and we're gonna do the same for the other chords. Again, this is the 5. Now we did the 2, which is this chord. And we're gonna do the 5. Alright, which starts off at G. Skip. And then now the 1, which is the final note, which ends off at C, our root note. Yeah, that's about it. We're gonna use a seventh. Now, I have 4 notes for each chord, so it's a seventh. Alright, this is just a normal standard triad. But this isn't really used in jazz as much as it's used in other like forms of music. Alright, so what we're gonna do is we're just gonna add 7th, maybe even 9th notes of chords if we want. Right? To give it that really lush sound. Alright, now this doesn't sound that nice, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna hit Alt R to randomize in velocity notes to make it sound more realistic, human, and relaxed. Right? There's only really one question we need to ask ourselves when making music, which is like, how do we want the person listening to feel? All right. In this case, because it's lo-fi, we want them to feel relaxed. So we're gonna hit Alt X to drag down all the velocity notes at the same time. All right. I'm gonna hit Alt S to strum it to give it a more realistic, sort of laid-back vibe. I'm gonna go to the Select tool. I'm gonna go to the 5 right here. Drag. I'm gonna highlight the top 2 notes. I'm gonna transpose them down an octave by hitting Control down. All right. Might as well do it for this one as well. No. Alright, let me just fix this up. What I should have done was transpose, then hit the strum tool. But either way. Alright, now we're almost there, but I don't like the notes that are being emphasized. Alright, so I'm gonna go to the velocity notes and put them in a descending order. Alright, so I can emphasize the lower notes instead of the higher pitch notes. Because again, remember, we want to give it a relaxed sort of vibe. Alright, now we're starting to get closer to that lo-fi sound, that sound that we intended to create. Alright? So, the reason why I'm like going through these weird steps right now, which seems kind of redundant, I don't know, but I just want to really just drive the point home that any technical skill you learn in your DAW is meant to create a feel, alright? And you pick what that feel is in the beginning. You determine what vibe you want to go for, alright? So I'm going to hit Control C. I'm going to go down here to electric, hit Control V. So I can add a layer. Now, in this layer, I'm going to do the exact opposite with the notes. I'm going to put the velocity notes in an ascending order, right? Just to give it a little extra color and make it sound a little bit different. I'm going to go to Control Up, hit Control Arrow Up to put it up an octave. Now, I kind of want to give it a what's it called? A tremolo effect, a little wobble effect. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to go to the gross beat. I'm going to go to the gate. I'm going to go to the 1 beat gate right here. I'm going to turn down the volume. Alright. Alright, so let me move on to the drums and then come back to the melody later. Now before I even want to add a rhythm, or you know what, let me add the rhythm first, why not? Let me turn up the swing. Alright, let me put this off time. I'm going to go right here to the wrench tool, take the time shift so I could put it off beat a little bit. give it extra rhythm. You know what? Let me do it to the other snare actually. I'm gonna go to the hi-hats, right click, each 2 steps. I'm gonna turn on the volume. Alright, now the hi-hat sounds a little bit too sharp, so I'm gonna go to right here, turn this up. Alright, I'm gonna go to the wrench tool, turn up shift. Alright, let me go right, I'm gonna click right here. So I can just, it makes it easier to go into the piano roll of each instrument. I'm gonna go for the hi-hat, play around with the velocity. Let me turn the volume a little bit. Yeah, okay. Alright. Snare is a bit too loud. Now, let me go label this stuff first. Alright, we need an open hi-hat. Drums, legacy, strings. Alright. Turn on the volume. I'm going to pan it to the left a little bit. Alright, so what I want to do is, let me just hit the bass. I'm going to right click, side chain to this track. As a matter of fact, no wait, let me show you what I'm going to do right here. I'm going to change the color. I'm going to create a bus where I have all the instruments routed to. Here. Right click, route to this track only. Route to this track. Alright. Alright, so I'm gonna side chain the instruments to the kick, but I need to turn on the kick because it's kind of too loud. And the hi-hat as well. Alright, so here. I'm gonna go to full limiter. Oh, let me show you what I did. I right click, hit side chain to this track. Alright, so I'm gonna go to the full limiter. Go cursor, I'm gonna right click, kick, right? And that's why I labeled it. You have to make sure to label it right here. So either way, the ratio 2 to 1 on the release. Alright, now the instrument list. Also, I want to add an EQ and remove all the low frequency so it doesn't get involved with the bass. Alright, I'm going to boost the highs a little bit. Turn down the volume of the piano a little bit, and I'm going to add some reverb to it. Alright, now let me add a melody. Add some reverb as well. Now for the melody, I'm really sorry guys, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to go into the piano roll and actually add a melody, because here's the thing, I actually really recommend you get a MIDI keyboard and you learn how to play the melodies and learn how to play keys, because it just makes this melody sound way better than if you were to, you know, just draw them in on the piano roll. Alright, so good. Sorry, okay. So let me just go to the piano roll right here. All right. Okay. So what I want to leave this video off with is that when adding a melody, when playing melodies, right? Always make sure to use the fifth note of the scale that you're in. So in this case, it would be the G note. Cause okay, think about it this way: 5 is sort of the magic number that has all the. How can I say? It's a note that sounds usually the best in each scale, especially when you're trying to create a melody, and especially when you're sort of going back and forth between the fifth and the first, which is. No. Then you go from the second to third, and then you go back to playing back and forth between the fifth and the first. So in this case, it's G and C. All right. So always know this: when you're trying to create a melody, I would recommend that you just play around with the fifth note. In this case, the G and the C, and just have all your what's the word I'm looking for here? Have your melody centered around those two notes. Yeah. Alright, so let's do something like that. All right. Alright, so yeah, I'm just gonna leave the video off like that. My bad if this video had too much talking and not enough producing. And yeah, okay. not the best video I've made, but either way, hope you guys enjoy it. Bye.